say that, okay, thank you, Brittany, for starting this off and for setting this up and having the idea. Um, and Susan, just for your knowledge, this is what we'll call this week one and in kind of maybe even our pre-week one. This will be our test run. But um, one thing that I want to do, and I know that Dan Spiegel does it from time to time, and some of the other managers do it, they just make themselves available. So Brittany and I were talking, and there's Hank.
How you guys doing
Hey,
today?
Hank, good morning. Yeah,
Good
good. You're on
morning.
with Brittany and Susan and myself. And what I was telling Susan is, um,
Nice to see
I've
you.
seen this done by some of the other regional managers, some of the branch managers, and even our national president, Dan Spiegel, has coffee conversations from time to time. And they're informal, not like a sales meeting. There's no real set agenda. We may have somebody on to talk or whatever, but it's a casual conversation and you guys are a part of it. And the idea is that Brittany as our is basically not basically, you are our marketing, our commercial marketing specialist for the state now. Brittany is going to be available to you and I to go to and to help us with our marketing needs. So she wants to be available to answer questions, give advice, best practices, things she's seen. And I want to do the same thing. I'm getting exposure to a lot of new and different people across the country. And if I got an idea, if I've got something that we can just kind of chat about and share, why not do it in a kind of a round table setting like this, and have it conversational. Again, it's not a formal program. Um, we're just availing ourselves to you guys. If you've got something that came up this week that you want to discuss and you weren't comfortable with or whatever, it's a great time to talk about it. So, um, with that, I'm going to ask Brittany to kind of give her take on what we're going to try to do with this and anything new that you may have or you want to share.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you. I know both of you. I spoke extensively with Hank on the phone when we were talking about his business cards, and obviously I
Yep.
know Susan because she's here locally. So thank you guys for joining. I'm sorry for the time mix up. Exactly what Mike said. I want you guys to feel like you can come to me if you have any questions or need to brainstorm or have a unique listing that you really want to just think of some creative ways to really market it. What I would like to do during these coffee convos is, obviously Mike will come and he will be the one that will kind of lead the message. And then after that, I'll go into a tool or maybe a training that you probably already know about, but aren't maybe utilizing just because you don't know the capabilities of the tool. So that's really what I wanted to accomplish in these meetings. I do this with my residential agents every Monday. We go, it's called Tool Time with Brittany, and we go over a tool and I teach them the tool again. And it might be a tool that they're already using, but maybe they haven't thought about using it in that specific way. So I just want to make sure that you know all the tools that you have as a CBC agent. And the amazing things that you can do with them. And if you're not using them, maybe you'll learn something and be able to apply it to your business. So that's kind of where we're at. I did have BrandSRV prepared, Mike, but since this is a pre-meeting, do you want me to save that for the next meeting or do you want me to go
No,
into the
we'll go
training?
over it in just a second. Let me just, you know, again, this is all free flowing. You guys, you got a question or comment, jump in. We're this is us sitting around a coffee table talking. So just, please treat it like that. And what I want to kind of add to what Brittany said is you guys have been in the business long enough. There's Joe. Thanks, Joe, for coming in. I'm sorry we're late. Um, we've all been in the business long enough and we've seen um, some best practices. We've seen some really good stuff and we've seen some really deficient things done by commercial real estate brokers, I think, in the business. I've always said that we could learn from our residential brothers and sisters when it comes to marketing. They've done a better job. Now, I don't want to be everybody to go out and try to put recipes up like West Payne. Okay. We don't necessarily need to go and do all that touchy feely stuff. Okay. But some of the things they do with their consistency, consistency of message, doing things on a schedule, um, the branding awareness, and the fact they use the same things all the time. there's a lot of good that they do. And again, Brittany's in tune with that because that's what she's been doing for the last few years. But she's got a real good insight now into what you guys do on a daily basis. And I think she's found some ways to take our tools, apply maybe some of the mindset of that the residential agents have, and maybe we can get more out of the things that we have. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to everybody? Chime in, raise your hand, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So if Brittany, if you want to just kind of go and find BrandSRV for us, um, I think everybody on the call knows where BrandSRV is, and you can share. You can take the screen. I'll just keep talking while you're doing it. Everybody knows what BrandSRV is. You can go to your desk. You can find it. Probably, I'm hoping. Um, but even knowing about it, I probably go there only occasionally. I'm not on there, on a regular basis to try to see if something new has been added. If I don't get an email telling me that something's new on BrandSRV, I probably don't go. And even then, if I'm busy, I probably don't go. So, Brittany, why don't you talk to us and make everybody do this on a regular basis? Go check BrandSRV.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. The other thing I wanted to point out too before I go into BrandSRV is those left-hand side of your CBC desk. We call this the place where you hide dead bodies because a lot of y'all don't even know what exists on this side. So just keep in mind there's some good nuggets in here. Under the CBC brand, there's Business Advantage, your company directory, events and resources. In commercial briefing, they've got all of the commercial briefings up to date. They're telling you about to save the dates for the register for the fall summit. And then also it's all of the the news here. So just keep that in mind. If you want to read some news, if you want to share an article, this is where you come to grab all those amazing commercial briefings. Under marketing, obviously my favorite tab that lives here. There's a couple things you can do. You can create an email signature right here if you don't already have one, and a QR code. So if you're doing any marketing with flyers and you want to create a QR code, you can do that right here on desk. Super easy and simple. And they've got some really great marketing templates here. So they've got the 2022 CBC brand PowerPoint. So if you were looking for a PowerPoint presentation, it's branded, it's beautiful. You can come in here and use that. There's the pitch book, the placement, and there's a lot of flyers in here and brochures. So just make sure you guys know that this stuff is here. A lot of times we forget that this is even here. There's also the branding and operation pathfinder, so you can find the brand book and anything like that. There's also social media. So if you're not already following all the social media for CBC, you can come here and get the links. And then they give you like best practices for social media and a social media calendar. When I sit down and I talk to the agents, this is one thing that I really highly suggest is if you don't have a good cadence going with your social media, come in here and we can download the calendar and we can do a one-on-one and we can talk about content. And then of course you have your business where you have learning, market trends, recruiting, and research. So, and there's some really great, little tidbits in here. So financial analytical tools, state conversion maps, CBC forms. So they're all here for you on desk and ready available. So just remember on the left-hand side desk where we hide dead bodies, there's also nice nuggets. So,
Hey, Brittany, on that marketing piece, do you remember when the fall summit is? Do you have the dates for that?
November, it's on my calendar actually.
I may have already registered for it, but we all need to register for that and try to attend. It's more than our little sales meetings. It's more than getting an email from BrandSRV. There's something special about getting together with the rest of the agents in the country on one meeting and hearing the corporate um, focus for the rest of the year, how we've done so far, what's going to change for next year. All that's going to be discussed at the fall not the global conference, but it's our fall, kind of like a mid-year or a mini conference, if you will.
This one.
It's under events. There you go.
November 10th, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so if you can put 2 hours on your calendar in November, go ahead and register for it. Make sure that they know you're coming. They are keeping a head count. They want to know, what to plan on. So we'd like to be represented very well in Florida.
Yep. Awesome. So you can find that on the left-hand
That's
side.
called, what is it called again, Mike? The fall summit. Okay.
Yeah.
Under commercial briefing on the left-hand side, it's this one right here, the second one. register for Fall Summit. We have a registration link for you.
Okay,
Right,
can I
thanks.
ask a
Didn't mean to
question,
interrupt.
Brandy?
Yep.
We used to get for a while, and this is great stuff. Obviously, if you that those of us that know about it, but we used to get an email, like I think, for the monthly social media calendar, and I think they stopped that. So I guess and that's fine. So when you go up there to BrandSRV, that's where that went, because it used to be a social media. Is that correct? I'm just
So BrandSRV, when we go into it's going to be like social media content. For the actual calendar, it's going to be under marketing and under social media.
okay.
And
Yeah,
there's
the
calendar
calendar's
link.
still there, Joe. I think it's the same one we've always had. They're just not emailing it to us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because they used to email it, and I mean, and that, like Mike says, sometimes we should be in here more often, but we're not. And then they emailed it, and then I'm just saying what I found, that I mean, this is, and
That's it.
we've really, I mean, they really make it really easy for you, so you grab that
Yep.
link and you post it on your social media, and so that's what I tried that for a while, but I think Mike said something wrong. Consistency, so inconsistency is not consistency. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
right?
This is awesome. They don't do this for residential, just let you know. When we talk about a social media calendar, we have to, like, they give you the dates and you put the content in the post. So this is awesome that they do this, and they actually have links and they tell you kind of what to post. So this is something that residential does not have. This is CBC exclusive.
Don't tell them about that.
I won't.
Could you guys tell me where that summit's gonna be, location wise?
It's online, Hank.
Oh, it's
You'll register
online.
for it
Okay.
and just get on a Teams meeting, kind of like we are right now.
Yep.
Yep.
And the link's right here underneath.
Just register and
I can send this link out if you want.
That'd be great.
Okay. I can do that. Okay, so when we're on the CBC desk, we're going to go back and we're going to click on the CBC BrandSRV. And this is where all of your social media collateral is housed. So anything for social media that you want to post, if you want to do a post. It also houses our logos here. So when you drop into CBC, you'll be in the home. Here in the bottom, it's going to have like our most frequently used and visited tabs. But I want to really focus up here at the top. So under commercial, you're going to see social, templates, virtual meeting backgrounds, guidelines, company logos, award logos, photography, and videos. So where you're probably going to spend most of your time is in social media, and we're going to walk through how to download one and post it to our social media in this meeting. But I want to talk through each of these bullet points. They've got templates for you to use, virtual meeting backgrounds. So if you're on a Teams meeting like this one and you need a professional background, you can come in here and create one. The guidelines is going to be our Pathfinder book that's going to tell you if you're actually going to advertise outside of CB, how to get the logos, what the colors look like, making sure you're staying within the company guidelines, using our brand and using the logo, especially because we have a new logo. It's super important that you guys come in here and take a look at the guidelines. My company logos, if you want to download the Caldwell Banker commercial logo realty, you can come in here and download it. And if you want an award, you can come in here and grab your award designation so that you can use on your marketing collateral. There's stock photography. I want to click on this one because I think this is a hidden gem. So if you're looking to post something and maybe you don't have a picture, they actually have stock photography in here that you can use. So if you were doing an outside advertisement or a social media post or creating a flyer or just needed stock photography, you have a plethora of it here at your fingertips in BrandSRV. So you can see there's lots of really great commercial, residential meetings going on and different types of things that you can come in here and download. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click on social so we can look at the social collateral that you have within BrandSRV. And my BrandSRV might look a little different than yours because mine loads in the residential one on top of that. So just keep that in mind. So it's going to show you the tactics that we have. So right now, these are like the newest ones that they just put in.
Why do they call those tactics? I don't really I've never understood that completely.
Yeah, so tactics would just be like the campaign basically that we're running. I don't know why.
Yep.
I'll be honest.
All right.
Probably just someone in BrandSRV thought it was a sexier word than posts.
It's trendy. Okay.
Yeah. So the newest thing that just came out is that mid-year 2022 Caldwell Banker. So we can click on that one, but I wanted to show you that we have what moves her. You've also got these really pretty generic headlines that if you're actually wanting to feature a property, maybe you just sold or just listed, you can come in here and customize, and we'll do that one as well. But there's a lot of really great stuff here. There's a new listing right here, and it's branded to the commercial with the proper logo and can have your photo. And I'm going to show you how to go through those steps. And then, of course, there's the holidays. So if you guys aren't already coming in here and downloading the holidays for your social media, I highly encourage you to. This is free collateral that, it's just like happy Halloween, happy, Columbus Day, which is on Monday. You can come in here and you can schedule these out on your business Facebook page. So if you are sitting there doing the calendar and you don't have a lot of time for social media, you can come in here and download these assets and schedule them out on your business Facebook page for a whole month. So then you don't even have to think about it, right? You just spend some time at the beginning of the month and you post all the holidays and all your content and it's ready to go and it just posts for you. So something to think about. So let's go back to this 2022 mid-year update because I want to show you what this looks like. So when you click into this, it's going to show you what is inside of this BrandSRV tactic. So it'll show you 2022 mid-year CRE Outlook Social option 1. If we use our arrows, it's also going to give us a different photo. So if we like this photo of a conference room overlooking a city, or do we like the high-rise building? Pretty much the same wording on it, just different types of backgrounds. So once you kind of come in here and you think, oh, you know what, I really like this one, that's the one maybe you choose. But remember which one it is. So if you liked option 6, that's the option you're going to want to download. For the sake of this training, I actually really like the pictures, so I'm gonna choose option 1. So I'm gonna go over here to order. It gets a little confusing. Some agents are like, well, why are we ordering something? Am I paying for it? No, the company pays for all of this stuff here in BrandSRV. You get to come in here and just download it for free. So you can see I ordered it, so I'm just gonna hit the download button. And it's gonna give me a zip file, and it's actually gonna give me all these options, I guess, instead of me choosing. So you can have all of them downloaded. So if you wanted to maybe sprinkle them throughout the month of October, you could. So it opened it up in a zip file, so I'll have to see what's in here. So it shows you city growth, construction, developers, retail, stable assets, supply and demand. So if I wanted to keep all these, I could just grab these and put them into my folder. So I think I have a commercial folder under pictures. Let's see. I do. So I'll put it in my commercial folder. So I just selected them and drug them out of the zip file. So now in my commercial folder, I will have all of these ready to go for city growth, developers. And now I have, 7 great posts that I can post on my social media. So do you guys know how to schedule it out through Facebook business page, or do you want me to go over that real quick?
I do not know.
Okay, so let me show you. So you have to have a business Facebook page. So I'm not saying just a regular personal Facebook page. It has to be a business Facebook page. So make sure that you have a business Facebook page already created. So how you get to your business Facebook page when you log into your Facebook is either right here on the right-hand side, it's under your pages and profiles. If you can't find it here, you can always open your menu and you can find your pages under here with a little flag. And it'll show you all the pages that you manage if you manage multiple ones, or if you just manage one, you'll just have your one business page that will pop up. It takes a minute for mine to load because I think I have like 14.
Well, I see us over there on the left side.
Yeah, so let's click this one. There it is. So here is the commercial page. So if I wanted to schedule these posts out and not just post it right here, I'm going to have to find the Meta Facebook suite. Mine looks a little different because this is the new Facebook page style. So it's going to be on the left-hand side here. We're going to want to get to the Meta Business Suite. Where is the Meta Business Suite on this one? They changed this page now. Normally you just have right here, Meta Business Watch Marketplace.
Go to the dots. Yeah.
Here it is. What the Meta Business Suite. Normally on the left-hand side, you'll see the option, and I'll show you what you guys are probably going to see. Not what I want. think it's because I don't own this page. Hold on, let me try a different page that I own, that I started. Back to pages. I think it's because I'm only a creator on that page, not an admin, that I can't see what I want to see.
Okay.
So let's go to Brian. Brian's is the same thing because I'm not an owner. When did I start? Think it's there we go. Okay, so now you should see on the left-hand side here, you should see when you manage your page, if you own the page, you should see Ad Center, Create Ads, Boost on the left-hand side, or Meta Business Suite. So you want to get to the Meta Business Suite. So sometimes you can click like just create an ad or create ads, and it'll take you to the Meta Business Suite, or you can just click on Meta Business Suite. And it's going to take you to the back end of your business page. So the Meta Business Suite is awesome because there's a couple things that you can do here. Number one, you can create a post and post it out and schedule them out for the whole month of October. The other thing that you have is your insights. So you can actually see who's coming to this page. If you have more traffic in specific times, what that looks like, how your growth is in the last, 30 days, what content has been the most popular, who your audience is, so if they're more men than women, and then what their age range is. And then if you click the See Audience Report, you can also see where they're coming from. So the top countries that people are coming to this page are United States, but then you do have a pretty high ratio of different countries here that you may not have thought of that are on your Facebook page. So just things to think about when you're targeting, potential investors. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from the United States? Are they coming from a different state? Just some good data for you to see. But what we want to do is we actually want to go back and we want to, plan out those posts. So I'm going to go to posts and stories. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a post, this blue button. And if you have an Instagram, this is where you can actually post on your Instagram and your Facebook page using the BrandSRV. So right now it's saying it's going to post to St. Kitts. If I had an Instagram account, I can connect it right here. So if I post it here, it will also post on Instagram, which is super helpful and awesome. So then I'm going to add my photo. So I'm going to have to find my photo I just downloaded, and it was under my pictures and it was under commercial.
You may not want to put that on St. Kitts page, but.
Well, I'm just going to show you how to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I won't post it. And then it's going to show you a preview to the right here of what the photo looks like. And then you can add your text. So you can say like, check out the latest tactics, right? And add your hashtags, and it'll show you what it looks like here to the right-hand side of what your preview is. And you can actually preview what it looks like on a desktop versus a mobile device. So if you're looking at it, yes, I got it. Thank you. It will show you what it will look like on a phone versus a desktop. So it just gives you a great view to make sure that your, BrandSRV product is optimized on both desktop and on your phone. You can also do like check-ins and, simple things like that. And then where it says scheduling options, this is where you're going to schedule it. It's going to give you a time of the day that is most popular for your unique page. So it's telling me for the St. Kitts page, like 1046 is my highest reach. So I might want to schedule it for 1046 on whatever day. But if I open the calendar here where it says October 7th, I can change it to any day in October, and I can even go forward to the end of December. So I can schedule out
Can you do
all
multiple
my
days?
You can. Well, not for the same post. You have to schedule it out. But you can
Okay.
only, yeah, that's a good question. You can only post it once per day, this post, and then you could do the same graphic if you wanted, Mike. You just have to come do the same steps and post it
Yeah.
for a different day. And then you can also see where it says active times. It gives you some more times. Today at 6 is also active, tomorrow at 7, and Sunday at 6 is active on this page. So once you have the post ready to go, then you would just hit that schedule button, and it would schedule it out for that day and time that you chose. Any questions on that before I move on?
Yes. I saw that. That's great. I think we went over that once before, you and I. But how did you grab all the holiday graphics at once? Maybe I missed that.
No, these aren't the holidays. This was the 2022 mid-year update,
Oh,
and it gave
okay,
me
okay,
it
but
gave me
but in
But you
other
seven.
words,
could, I think if you went to holidays, they would probably all download, wouldn't they, Brittany?
I think you have to choose. Let's see.
that's what because I just wanted to see if it's I guess it's either one or maybe you can pick multiple, right? So
So I think for some of them, they're in a sleeve, like the one, this one gave you 7. I think with the holiday, you have to choose, but let's see.
okay, but I mean that's fine. But so you would but if you wanted to pick multiple ones of those to download, can you do that? Any of
No,
those
on the
assets?
holiday ones, you have to do one at a time. So it looks
Okay.
like customize. Because
Okay.
this one, you have to change the DBA logo to our realty one, so it won't let you mass
Okay.
download this
Yeah, all
one.
right. Well, forget that. Go back one step. So how about the assets themselves, though? I mean, that's the holidays. Yeah, thanks. I got that one. Then I guess, but if
Okay.
you go back to the brand serve, and so go back one more step, or one more.
To the home
Yeah,
social.
and then if you go to the assets that they had, it's again, you would download one at a time, order one at a time, like those.
So like this one, let's do this one where it's got the listing headline. So if we had a listing, let's do that one.
Okay.
Because this one has some involvement in it. So here it's going to show you, it's got 6 that you can choose from. So if you like the blue background, or do you like the white background? And then if you want to do a reduced price, new price, new price. So you see the headings change. So if it's a new price, reduced priced, or new listing, and it has it both in the white and the blue for you to choose from. So you're going to come over here to the customize button, and it's going to ask you what version you want. So do you like the blue background or the white background? I'm going to choose the white background. And then it's going to ask you what headline you want. Is it a new listing, price reduced, or new price? So we'll do new listing. Then you're going to have to add the image of the property. So you'll hit add image, and hopefully you have the image of the property in your, downloads already. So you just hit choose a file and pick the photo of the listing. I think I have one in here, so I'll just use Melissa's just for the sake of this. We're going to say this is a new listing. Then it's going to ask for a property address. So we'll just do 12345 Main Street. And then it asks for property price in square feet. So we'll put the property price in square feet. Then it's going to ask for your photo for the image. So you'll have to add image. We'll use Mike's. I have it here. And then agent name, right? So we'll have to put agent title. We'll just put him as president of Florida because he's awesome. Phone number, whoever's phone number this is, right? I'm just using the fill so we don't waste a lot of time. Email, and then your website. You want to put your URL, right? So www.mike. I know that's not his website, but just for the sake of the training. And then license format, you don't need your license, so you can just put no license number because we're not in Hawaii or California. And then for DBA logo, this is where we need to make sure we have the CBCR. So CB, it lets me type in the other ones. It's not going to let me type in this one. Okay. Realty, let's look for realty. I think it's under R. There it is, realty. So you need the realty logo. So in the residential side, it usually lets me type and give you guys a little tip, but it's not going to let me here. So you just need to find the realty one. And then you're going to agree that you have the rights to use the photos, and then you'll generate your proof. And it takes a minute for it to populate. So just FYI, anything in pink is what you changed. It's not going to be pink once you hit the order button. It's just reminding you, hey, these pink ones are the ones that you corrected. Make sure there's no spelling or grammatical errors, and take a look at it. So it's like, warning, warning, don't download this one. You have to go one step further, but just make sure everything's correct. So if everything's correct and you like the way it looks, then you'll hit that order button, and it'll allow us to download the asset.
Brittany,
Yes.
if I do this and I wanted to put an active link to go to my commercial MLS listing of that property, can I embed a link somehow in that same social deal?
You cannot in this photo, Mike. That's a good question. But what I would do when you post this on Facebook, as the part of the post as well as the picture, I would put the link above
Oh,
and
so
say
you
for this new
make
listing.
comments, okay.
Uh-huh, yep.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yep.
could probably put the link, because we get that from CMLS. We could put the link where it was the website. That's another way to do it, Mike. You know, I mean,
You could, but it wouldn't be a clickable link, Joe. So they'd have to actually type it
Oh.
in.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because it's a photo. It's like you can't embed a
Yeah,
link
just put in the
this one.
comments. Yep,
Mhm.
I got
That
you.
way they could like click it and it's a live link. So then we would just save this and take this to social media and say, check out my new listing. And then you could link the link.
Thank you. No, that's great. That's very helpful. I mean, very helpful for me. I appreciate it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
So we've done a new listing, we've done a quotable, and then we've looked at the holidays. Is there any other ones that you want me to go over in BrandSRV? As far as the assets?
But it is kind of one at a time, right? I guess that's right.
Normally it is. The only one that wasn't was this mid-year commercial. It had 7 assets in the one,
Yeah.
but normally it's one that you go in there and you edit and you download.
Yeah. I
Hey,
will
Britt,
say this.
There's a few
Did
things
you ever
I've
have this
done
happen with the residential stuff? I've had it happen where you keep getting like an email that says that your order has been updated or something. Did you ever have that happen to you? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's a quirk, I guess, or you know.
So
So-
sometimes like the photos and stuff, we buy the stock photos for a specific amount of time. So if you get an email saying like your brand assets are about to expire, it just means that like one of the photos that we've used, if it's a stock photo, maybe we're running out of our copyright. So it's just warning you that you could run into copyright issues. Good
Hey,
question.
Brittany,
Mhm.
how are you?
Good. How are you, Hank?
Good, good. I wanted to ask about the campaigner section. Would you be able to kind of touch on that a little bit?
Well, today we're going to focus on BrandSRV, but I can do campaigner next coffee talk if you'd like.
Let's do
Okay.
that the next one, and because we're not going to be able to stay on here a lot longer. I've got a couple other things I just want to touch on before we, let everybody go, because it's still a work day and we got stuff to do. But she mentioned the fall summit. Please register for that. Let's sign up for the fall summit. I'd like to get a great attendance at that. For you, Hank, we also have a kind of a mid-Florida meeting in October this month, about 2 weeks. So we're going to be meeting in Tampa on the 18th. And Susan and Joe, you guys probably got the email to save the date for those 2 meetings. If y'all are welcome to come to any of them. If you want to fly down to Fort Lauderdale, you're welcome. Or Tampa, you're welcome to either one. We're going to try to do something for Northwest Florida. Years ago, we had we had an idea of doing an I-10 corridor meeting and bringing in some of the affiliate offices. So bringing in Tallahassee, perhaps the Mississippi Gulf Coast in Mobile and even New Orleans, and just try to pick a spot and have some of our non-realty companies, but some of the affiliates. And that's still kind of being batted around. We've met as broker managers that way before, and it was a good meeting, but we've never brought in our agents. And then, so I'm kind of thinking of, maybe trying to set something up at the Beau Rivage in Mississippi or in Pensacola, whatever. But we'll do something up here for us along the same lines. But Hank, yours probably your best one will be Tampa, October 18th. So try to make that. And this is completely anecdotal, but it feels like things slowed down just a little bit in the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if that's me or if that's you guys as well. I'd love to hear your input, but across the state, I still see a lot of business and certain people are still super busy. In fact, Joe and Susan, you guys have both been putting in deals and I see a lot of paperwork being processed from you guys and Hank, I've seen yours too. But the daily deals that are getting posted are kind of our funnel seem to have slowed down a little bit. So just kind of be aware. It seems like the people that are busy, that are out there every day beating on the doors, are still busy enough. But if you're not careful, I think you could probably lose some momentum right now. So let's let's be careful and let's not lose that momentum going into the end of the year. What do y'all think? Is it, Joe, do you think things have slowed down a little bit? Are you as busy as you were?
Well, I'm busy, but remember some of the stuff I'm doing is, and it's just I got to get away from it. But buyer rep and tenant rep, those are, chasing your tail sometimes. And I've had some of those where I spend a lot of time. I guess the answer is about the consistency in the funnel, because the weakness of your pipeline, or lack thereof, that's part of the problem. Because when they fall out, when you spend a lot of time on a couple of these, maybe 4 or 5 things I've been working on, and then 2 or 3 of them disappeared, and then that's a problem. The other thing I would say on the listing side, a lot of people are still, the whole thing, people get caught up in stuff they can't control. So I have, owners and sellers or potential sellers saying, well, we're waiting to see what happens with the, it's like, I heard it for months now, Ukraine war. I mean, we can't really control that, can we? So, but they keep saying stuff like that. And, you just try to just hear the objection and then say, well, it's still good time to sell. I try to articulate the fact that we still have very little inventory. I don't know how I think where Hank is probably the same thing, but we have very little, the inventory hasn't got any, better the situation. So we still have to deal with what we have. And then, if you wait for something to be perfect, it's not going to be. But that's what I say. Maybe what does anybody else have to say? What do you say to people?
I'm not seeing any slowdowns.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any slowdown in my market. I think if anything, it's accelerating. I'm getting calls all the time asking for properties and retail stores and warehouses. So I'm not seeing any slowdown at all. I'm busy.
Cool.
Thankfully, cross your fingers. So
Susan.
hope to stay busy.
Yeah, I've got demand and needs, but no supply. That's more my problem. So I've got a retailer needs space, and there just isn't any. So.
And I agree. And I've been telling people that ask about the economy of the national economy. It still doesn't answer the supply demand question, especially that we have in our local markets. And there's an axiom out there that says that all real estate is local, just kind of like all politics are local. And it really has to do with your particular market. So I don't really care what's going on in the Ukraine. I mean, I do in my heart, but it doesn't affect our business right here in Pensacola. Same way that the interest rates, they may affect how we price things a little bit, but not too much, and so anyway, I wouldn't get too concerned on these national issues. All real estate's local. Our local supply and demand is still driving it. If there's not any product out there on the market, that's maybe when we need to start using the phone and start trying to find those off-market properties or call vacant buildings and try to get them to list them, because we desperately need inventory. I've got some right now that I've been reaching out to. I'm going to keep reaching out to until they answer the phone. I've got people, I know they got my email. I know they got my phone call. They just haven't replied yet, and that's rude. So they need to do that. They need to talk to me at least. So I'm going to keep doing it, and I suggest you guys do too. But I think if we use some of the tools the company gives us and take Brittany's advice, and we post things on our calendars, and we're doing a consistent message like Joe was talking about it a minute ago, boy, it can't hurt. It can't hurt what we're doing. We're already the best in the business. We know our business. We know our markets better than anybody. We just have to let the world know that, and I think that's our biggest issue right now is the world may not understand. They may not know how good we are. And so that's, at the end of the day, that's what marketing is about. And that's what Brittany's here to help us about. We'll talk about the other, what would you want to talk about next time, Hank?
Campaigner. And if you remember, Mike, we were supposed to have a training on that. Phil was going to do that for us, but anyway, because that's a great tool that we have, and
I
we
think
can't
it's
cover
something
here.
we desperately need. I don't use it. I've used it a couple times, but not nearly enough. So, Brittany, that would be a huge one for us, I think.
Yeah,
I
and it's
really
not,
don't
it's,
understand.
it's a great tool. I mean, and I've used it, but it's challenging to use, but it's another, like Mike said, the tools that we have, I've often said, and this is an prime example. I appreciate everybody's being here today and coming back and all that, because the tools that we have, if we use those, with, it's like you should win. But I just wanted to ask, and it's also good to, I wish there were other people on, but Hank, where you're at, you're saying like, so what do you, can you say what's making your phone ring? I mean, is it, you have a lot of listings out there? Do you have a lot of, have you done a lot of marketing? I'm just so I'm always curious to see what works, what's working.
Well, I do have listings. I'm adding listings almost constantly, but what I'm getting is a lot of calls coming in for needs, like Susan was saying, retail needs, warehouse needs, and the inventory is lacking out there. It's limited, but I can still find something for them. It may not be exactly what they want, but it's close enough for them. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of buyers needs, a lot of tenant needs, quite a bit, a lot of calls.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, and I'm sure all of us here do this, I saw something this morning on social media from a residential brokerage, not ours, but they said about communicate, answer your phone, text and email. And I will say this, when you get, and Susan, I know all of us here, Mike and Brittany, we answer the calls. And I mean, sometimes it's, Susan and I joke about it. Sometimes, they call other brokerages and they just don't get back to them. And I'll just share. I had a call last week, and it's not the greatest thing, but I had a call last week. A woman was looking for a lease, and she's calling from Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, and she asked me all these questions, and I asked some pretty pointed qualifying questions now. And so it turns out that she's got a broker with another brokerage here, Team Beck, okay, and they're not answering her call, and so she's looking to me, and then of course where it wasn't a good thing, because she's looking for a 1-year lease. As we know, in this inventory market, nobody wants a 1-year lease; they want a 3 or 5-year lease. And so I said, I said, well, I'll see what we could do, and then give me your information, and but she said that, I said, well, just out of curiosity, why don't you call your broker, at that other team? But and she said, well, she said, well, she didn't really want to waste her time, she said. And so I said, well, when we call them for their properties, they won't even talk to you. They talk to the hand. They say 5-year lease or don't even call me, Joe. I mean, that's what they say. So I just thought it was interesting, but it's just, I don't know. That's the kind of thing I tried to ask some pretty, specific questions. And Susan told me a long time ago, told me some of the stuff you have to try and help them, but right. Not get too far down the rabbit hole, right? I guess.
Yeah, we want to do it in a nice way. We don't want them wasting our time either, if it's a waste of time. And it's hard to tell sometimes. What one caution is that there are people that may seem to be a waste of time now, but if we do a good job and we respond and we help them find that 1-year lease or whatever, they may have other needs in the future. After a year, they're going to need to move. And if we've done our good job and we've stayed in touch with them and put them on our social media calendars and our email blast and all this stuff, if we've done those things in a year, hopefully we get a call back and we get a 5-year or a purchase or something out of them. So, we can't blow off everybody that's not a 7-figure deal. We just really can't. My bread and butter has always been what, 3 to 5, 600,000, something in the middle from a sales standpoint. I mean, 10 to 20,000 square feet of lease space. It's just not, we're not doing downtown New York high rises. We're just not doing that. We're doing smaller stuff. But everybody out there that you see, when you see these numbers of people doing a $20 million deal or whatever, that's not where they started. That's not their first deal. They got there because they did smaller deals. All right. So just keep that in mind. And I want to qualify them and I don't want to waste my time. And if I get to that point, I'm going to try to kindly, nicely separate from them, put them off on somebody else that's got the time, maybe a good referral to an RCC or Joe, but put them into somebody that's got the available time if you don't, but don't just blow them off. Okay. Let's be nice about it. Let's take the high road on those things and try to keep a friendly disposition with these folks. So,
Let me ask, can I ask Brittany another quick question? Brittany, if you, when you have like along those lines, I have somebody help with a lease, a small lease, and a hair salon, and they just absolutely, I just stopped by, they're gonna have a grand opening in a couple of weeks, so they, a small lease, and they loved, the way because I treated them like a $20 million deal, and they were, a $300 deal. But anyway, is there a preferred way to have like that review? I know like on a Google page review or whatever, but I mean, is there any science to how they say, Joe Coldwell Banker did a good job, or what? Is there anything like that, or just doesn't matter?
Google's always going to be your best place because you can always take them from Google and put them in other avenues. So you can always paste them into like your profiles on a website or on Facebook, and you can create a BrandSRV thing saying, check out my next review. And also Google's going to help with your SEO, Joe. So the more reviews that you have, the higher Google is going to say, well, this Joe guy is really great because he has 10 reviews with 5 stars and he's doing commercial deals just like he's saying he's doing. So Google is going to be your best place. It's going to get you the best organic lift, and it's also going to be the best place for you to take it to other places.
But how about the wording of the testimony? It doesn't matter as much?
Just commercial. Make sure whatever they say, it has commercial in there, because I think you have commercial in your description in your Google business page. So just make sure it matches your description.
Okay, thank you.
hey, Joe, I haven't done it lately, so I'm not a good example, but before I've gone out and asked clients, especially the ones that were friends or, that we were close with, and I point blank told them, look, I'm going to be doing some marketing, and I really want to focus on, the fact that I want to be viewed as being trustworthy. Okay. And I would use that word trustworthy. And, if you wouldn't mind and you felt, you felt comfortable doing so, would you write a letter on your letterhead, just about our experience or something like that? And I got a bunch of letters. I got a little file now, and occasionally I've gone and taken excerpts from it, and I'll put their, their name, and I got permission from them to do this. But, George Biggs with Biggs, construction, the most trustworthy realtor I've ever worked with, or something like that, and I can use that now. So
Yep.
I just asked for a letter.
No, thanks. No, that's a good point. No, I appreciate. No, this is what it's about. This is great meeting because you kind of sometimes you take it for granted, and you need to keep that in the file, like you said, and then you can always use it. And I have some, but it doesn't hurt to get like try to get. My goal is to try and make every client a reference client, but and most of the time I've been able to do it, but then you have to document it and put it out there, right? So,
Yep.
Thank you.
The last thing from a marketing standpoint, Joe, I think you need one of those billboards with your, they cut your head off and put it on somebody's body that's really ripped and muscular. I'd like to see one of those with you on it around here. I think that'd be great. Huh?
I actually like the fact that Brittany has your actual picture now instead of your high school picture, because the high school. so touche, Mike. I mean, you're really getting on me, So I mean, why don't you pick on Hank or Susan? Susan looks like you're like in a dark. Susan, are you in your meth lab today, or is it the?
She's getting ready for Halloween. Getting dark.
I'm easing into my day, Joe.
What's that?
I'm just easing into my day.
Yeah, well, listen, I know that movie stars like you, the bright lights, but Hank, we're here to help, Hank, I think send some people up our way. We have a lot, we don't have enough people. They're starting to come, but we don't have enough buildings, but that doesn't make a difference. We're trustworthy.
We are trustworthy. Everybody across the state's trustworthy.
No, I mean, I think the networking thing, right? That's your point, Mike. We have to do that. And then maybe now with the meeting in person, is it going to be the same thing or similar? And you were going to do that I-10 corridor thing, and Biloxi sounds good to me, or New Orleans, because we always seem to have to go south. But is it going to be the same information shared? Is there going to be anybody come in from home office or?
The difference probably will be, I have a speaker at the Tampa and the Fort Lauderdale meeting, a guy named Joe Huss, that's talking about supply chain and the distribution, the importance of that whole, I guess, logistics industry, the industrial market, and how important it is right now. He's really gonna be focusing on the I-10 corridor, the Port of Miami when he's in Lauderdale. So we're going to be, those are kind of region specific. We'll see if we can find somebody like that when we do the I-10 corridor for our region, you know, and maybe bring an economist or somebody that knows a lot about the Northern Gulf Coast. But you know, you'd be amazed, even like the Mississippi Development Authority, what they're doing over there and what they see, you know, as the future for the Gulf Coast. It might be interesting. So it might not be somebody from our, you know, local market, but it might be somebody like that that would be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a shame that we're so far away up here from Central Florida. It's not an easy car ride. You can't do it in a day and come back. Hank, the reason we did it in Tampa, we're bringing people up from Sarasota and maybe even as far as like Venice or Punta Gorda into Tampa, and then Orlando over it. It was kind of central. We're doing one in Southeast Florida that's mostly for Southeast. There's so many people down there. They've got the biggest region in the state. And also the Naples folks can drive over and come across Alligator Alley real easy. It's actually closer for them to go to Miami than it is up to Tampa. So we're doing two in the state that get the most people, and Northwest Florida gets left out. And, you know, anybody that's been in the state of Florida for a long time, you remember that we used to hand out state maps at the border when you went to the welcome station, and Northwest Florida was cut off. It was on the back, like at the bottom. So that's kind of how it is in our company and the commercial real estate world too, I guess. But we're cut off and we're an afterthought. But I'm going to make sure that we get something up here, whether it's just our region or if we can. I really like the idea of bringing in maybe the guys from Tallahassee. That'd be really interesting to have a joint meeting with Tallahassee, I think. Even if we didn't go to Mississippi and New Orleans this time, if we met in Panama City or something and brought in, you know, invited the CBC guys from Tallahassee over and had something, I think that could be interesting. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so the Tampa one is October 18th?
Yep.
And then when's the other, there's another one where in Boca Raton?
It's in Lauderdale, or it's actually Weston area on the 20th, 2 days later.
Okay. So you're just going to be living down, you're going to be forgetting the Panhandle for about a month then, right?
And for your knowledge, I'll be out, so I'll be gone that week from Pensacola. I won't be around. I'll be traveling Monday through Friday of that week at these meetings. Then a little secret, 2 weeks after that, on the 28th, I'm going to the BVI for a week. So don't try to call that week. Matter of fact,
BVI?
Yeah, I'm turning everything off. I'm forwarding my calls to you guys, and
Wow.
you won't be able to find me.
Good. Are
I'll
you
be
going right
private.
from South Florida to there? Like, is it you could take
I
a
should
nice,
just stay there. I'd be better.
yeah, you
but,
should really, right?
I better fly with my wife. She would appreciate it.
That's good. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So Hank, send some people up. Talk about some deals. You have any deals you want to send up here, Frank? Hank? Have anything you want to send up?
I've always got deals, but most of my deals are right here in Central Florida. But I do have a couple of guys looking for gas stations all over the state of Florida. So if you have a couple of gas stations up there that are ready to roll and ready to, you know, to be bought or sold or whatever, just bring them my way.
Okay.
Fuel or no fuel? Fuel or no fuel?
They'll take anything. Right now, they're just looking for gas stations.
Gas stations.
Yeah.
Convenience
So
stores.
Okay. Thanks. That's good. And multifamily, I've got a bunch of multifamily off market and a bunch of people looking for multifamily. And Susan and Mike will be glad to hear this, but I went by Maxwell the other day. I sold the distressed, very, very distressed. They renovated. I didn't even recognize the place. They painted it white. They put new roofs on, siding. So, I mean, so that I'm hoping to get that